Hello, beautiful beings of light. My name is Dale Allen Hoffman. I'm an ancient Aramaic wisdom keeper. I'm so sorry I can't be with you in Lynchburg today at Unity in the Seven Hills. It's been an interesting week for me, couple weeks. Our daughter, our 10-year-old, has been diagnosed with COVID, and she's fine. I'm filming this on Thursday. You'll see this on Sunday. She's got the dry cough, the loss of some of her senses, things of that nature. She feels icky all over, but otherwise she's doing pretty good. She's quarantined. We're all quarantined, actually. Her even more quarantined than we are. Within the last couple days, my tooth fell out, which, when you look into deep dream interpretations, what that tells you is essentially there's more to your story that you need to express to sort of turn the volume up. And I'm a guy who's known for the past 30-some years for having my volume pretty full on. So the thought of making it a little higher is an interesting thing for me. But there are certain things I haven't talked about too much in these ancient Aramaic philosophies, going deeper into revelation and unveiling and apocalypsis. That's a Koine Greek word, but all these things that are going on that people are starting to feel. And, you know, I have been ruminating the last couple days, how can I start addressing these more in an uplifting manner? And of course, I was supposed to be positive my whole life, right? But all of a sudden, when it comes to COVID, had to be negative. So all of a sudden, everybody's telling me, no, you want to be negative, not positive. And it's like, I've been trying to be positive my whole life. So kind of funny. So my little missing tooth here will probably make things, I think, maybe a little more cozy for you. I look so human, which I love. And I'd like to offer you, to begin here with our time together, I'd like to offer you the ancient Aramaic prayer of Yeshua, of Jesus. Okay, this is what's known as the Lord's Prayer. For Catholics, this would be the Our Father. So the way we're going to move into this to open up this time that we have together, speaking about prayer, of course, is I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, get a good balanced position wherever you are. We're going to take 3 deep cleansing breaths in through the nose. Hold that in the temple just a few moments, and then out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose. Hold that just a few moments. Breathe a little more in. Hold that in the temple. Out through the mouth. One more. In through the nose. Breathe in a little more. Hold that in the temple. Hold it. Hold it. And full release, exhale. Kadash mo Tete Malkutak Nehuetz Viana Kaikana Washmea Abbehorea Hablan Lachmadasun Kananyoman Washbuklan Chaubain Tahin I Canada Panan Shwakan Lakayaven Hoila Tachlan Lenasiune Ilapatsan Minbisha Metul Didalaki Malkutak Wahila Wateshpukta La Ilam Almin Be aware of the rise and the fall. Our one absolute eternal being, of which we are born forth through the realm of the all and the only. I am empty. within the ecstasy of your presence and the purity of the vibration of the one divine name. Empower my expansion through your emergence from the unseen realms, as I realize our life and will as one, on the manifest earth as in the unmanifest divine realms. Provide the nourishment of clear insight and realization through me now and in each present moment. Release the echoes of my hidden past as I cancel all of my concerns with others. Do not let me lose my true self in forgetfulness, but wholly release me from the errors of my perceptions. For the undivided holiness is the absolute, the all, and the only, and our deep, intimate realization of the gratitude and grace of shining universal magnificence. From cosmic gathering to cosmic gathering, age to age, from aeon to aeon, Le'elam Alameen, from moment to moment, forever and ever, from now to now. May these pure intentions be the rooted, fertile earth center from which all my actions flow. And so it is. How are y'all feeling? It's nice, isn't it? What does prayer even mean? Funny that so many people focus on the words of Yeshua's Lord's Prayer, when right before he said it, he said in Aramaic, Hakana Hakil Talau Antun, which means essentially, therefore or so, pray like this. He doesn't say pray these words. He says like this. And I'm pretty sure he probably didn't go, Ablund Bashmaya Nitkadashmak. He probably didn't do anything like that. And I'm sure he didn't say, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. It was a shock to me when I hadn't thought about it before until I was in my teens, and then again in my early 20s when someone said, wait, Jesus didn't speak English, and I went, what? I never thought about that. Is that important? Yeah, that's important. Especially when you come to realize that we are literally conscious beings of nested frequency. Literally. So that word Salau in that phrase of Hakana Hakil Salau Antun, the word is sluta is the root there. It's slew. Sluta means literally to set a trap for God. Wow. We can thank Dr. George Lamza and my dear friend and mentor, Dr. Rocco Errico, for really getting that out here in the West. What does it mean to set a trap? Well, you can think in snare. Bear trap's probably not such a romantic thing. Maybe not that one as much, but more like a web. Almost like you're setting up a web that entangles. There's an entangling there. You could say like a TV antenna or radio antenna. And of course, the shape of the antenna is going to pick up different frequencies. Also, the way it's turned is going to pick up different frequency patterns. It's going to pick up different stations in different places. Another way to look at it would be like changing the channel on the television. And that sounds so simple, but if you don't like the way your life looks, just change the channel. And it sounds simple, and really in its essence it is simple, but it's not easy because it brings in all those gravitational forces of another one of my mentors, Stuart Wilde. When I was in my teens, he had called the grossness of matter, of the manifest universe. But when you're looking at it, you're looking at the manifest universe, you're looking at what seems real to you, but physicality, which I would add is not real. What starts happening is you go, wait a second here. When you start to wake up, I'll give you from Paramahansa Yogananda. And he talked about transferring the sense of identity from the pseudo-soul, or ego. Ego is a Koine Greek word, ego. Ego, back to the true inherent nature of our divinity. To become what he said was the ever-joyous witness of a stupendous cosmic drama. To wake up to the realization that you're in a movie theater, you're dreaming, you're a character in the dream. I'm talking to I right now, you are with you. All of this seeming manifestation of all these different points of existence are really, I don't even want to call it an illusion, but they're not what's real. What's real is what's watching. That which sees through you. In the words of St. Francis of Assisi, what you're looking for is what is looking. Breathe that in. What you're looking for is what is seeing through you, what is looking. Now, these ideas that we have of prayer, we think the words are prayers, or we use affirmations the wrong way today. It's some byproduct of the new age where we use affirmations to convince ourselves of something we don't believe, when what that's actually doing is it's focusing on 2% of your iceberg, when 98, doesn't matter what your 2% says. When you're focusing on 2%, which is your spoken words, what's resonating is everything that's in alignment with that. So that means, if, as an example, if you say to me, I'm manifesting a car, first of all, 98% of your being, if it says, well, it doesn't work that way, it's not that easy, and we're trying to convince ourselves with these affirmations, what happens is you don't get what you want, you get who you are. You only get, and we'll come back to this, what's obvious to you. So if your words are saying one thing, but 98% of your being is the predominant frequency that is feeling the other, it doesn't matter what your words say. However, when we can grow up essentially spiritually and start using affirmations as a catalyst for bringing the light into the darkness, for bringing the light into that feminine nature of our being, the unconscious, the subconscious, etc., and bringing that up into the light, that's the true healing, that's the true manifestation. So if you tell me, as an example, you are manifesting a car or you're attracting a car, I'd say also be careful of the words of using the word attract. Because if you tell me you're attracting something, what is obvious to you? And why do I keep saying obvious? Well, what's that word manifest? It comes from the Latin manus festus, which means literally as obvious as my own hand. Manifest literally means obvious. So regardless of your words, regardless of your prayers, regardless of your affirmations, what I'm saying is, how do you really feel? If you tell me you're manifesting a car or you're attracting a car, what is actually obvious in that statement? I don't have a car. Okay, now take a breath. Maybe you never thought of that before. People say to me a lot, why was it or how was it that Yeshua was able to cast out demons? I'm like, because he didn't believe in them. He didn't buy them. Well, then why would he spit in the ground and, put that in the man's eye sockets who was deaf blind? And it's like he was doing that basically for the pomp, or basically the appearance of the people that he was healing, to hopefully that they would put more of an openness into the situation. And that's a whole different talk entirely. But what I'm saying is, your prayer isn't the words you're using. It never is. It's how you truly feel about the words. It's how you truly feel behind whatever it is that you think you're projecting out. Thoughts do not create. Okay, that's insane, Dale. We've been learning for decades that thoughts create. No, 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 no. Thought is the crystallization of how you feel. Feeling is the sensation of pure frequency. So what exactly am I saying when I mean feeling is the sensation of pure frequency? I'm saying your awareness of that's feeling. I'm not confusing that with emotions. Just your awareness of that, your awareness of the rise and fall of your breath, the movement of air on your skin. And then when we spend a little bit of what we call time with that, we start forming opinions of this is good or this is bad. I like it, I don't like it. And from that, your thoughts come. But prior to your thoughts are that crystallization of feeling. Two people can be in the presence of a drum, and one will like it and one will hate it. I've hit toning bowls in groups and had people scream and run out. So kind of a funny thing there. We can go deeper into that when I come to visit. What were you really saying? So we don't become what we think about? No, your character in the dream becomes what you're feeling, and your thoughts are, of course, just a more tangible way of looking at that. But prior to the thoughts that you have, you first had a feeling, again, a sensation. And from that sensation, that crystallizes when we focus on it into what we think of as a thought. Now, what I'm saying is the words that you throw out there, those are a projection of what you're really feeling, whether they're congruent or incongruent with what you're feeling. So let's go a little deeper into this. I'm going to read this from my book, Echoes of an Ancient Dream. And this is actually from a book called 5 Steps to Freedom from Reverend Dr. John Waterhouse, one of my dearest mentors, dear friend. He was the world leader of Centers for Spiritual Living worldwide for quite a while. But he's also a minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Asheville. And this is from his book, 5 Steps to Freedom. It's all about prayer. It says, God is not an observer in our lives. God is the consciousness of our lives. As we begin to more fully comprehend the constant and abiding presence of Divine Spirit, we will find ourselves entertaining the notion that our every utterance, our every thought, and absolutely everything we express into life is a calling out to God. Every time we curse, we are praying. Every time we are angry, we are praying. Every time someone tells a joke or laughs or lies or cries, what is happening is prayer. Our judgments are prayers. Our fears and phobias are prayers. Spirit is present in the midst of it all. Everything we think, say, and do is a prayer, and every bit of it is having a direct and significant effect on our lives. So this brings me again back to, what are you really feeling? What are your real thoughts in relation to the things that you pray for? If you're sending out a message that you're praying for someone's disease to go away, you're praying for health, and it's a beckoning that you're praying like that. And let's think child. My little 10-year-old was just tested positive for COVID. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. But if I had spent my time praying for her to heal or to get through this, what is my obvious affirmation in that? What is my prayer? My prayer is, oh, she's in disease. So what am I actually praying for? Disease. Yet when I start with the end in mind, so to speak, think of Ernest Holmes, think of course, the Fillmores with Unity, Charles and Myrtle, seeing that healthy state of being, seeing them as exactly as pure as they are, the authenticity of their being, the witness, not the character locked in the movie, so to speak. And I'm going to start bringing this together with that realization that, what was this called? The temple, right? You know what that word is in Aramaic? It's haikla. or chaykla. And what that means, the chaya, the root of that is, Yeshua said, I come to give you chaya and give it abundantly. I come to give you what? Life. What that literally means is conscious life energy. Haikla means basically an embodiment or a gathering of conscious life energy. When you realize that I am life itself, then you start to realize that the mamuna, the materiality, which is the movie that you're watching, not necessarily the money in your hand, as the church has kind of been putting it out there. Although I have to give kudos to Les Brown. I think he was quoting someone else. He was like, everybody says money's the root of all evil, but they all want to find out for themselves. Funny, but when we start looking deeper at that, and we start realizing that, wait a second here, am I locked in the dream? Am I locked in the movie? Am I buying that? Am I trying to change things in there? And it's like, you can change things in there. That's part of being conscious. But what's most important is to realize that you're not the movie projecting on the screen. You're also not the film strip in your projector, which is what you think and or even feel. Who you are is the light in the projector. You're what's watching. You're the who behind the who, the I behind the I. And when you come from that essence, the film strip essentially becomes clean rather than through a lens darkly. And you start experiencing more light in your life. And you start saying, okay, if I'm thinking, if I have this fear of my beautiful little Shemaiah, which is the word heaven in Aramaic and the word for sky, if I start thinking of her needing to be healed, then what I'm affirming is disease. But when I see her as exuberant and brilliant and radiant in shining health, that's the real prayer. That I can be able to go into that place of prayer empty. And I want to leave you with that openness, that emptiness, with a quote from one of my most amazing favorite books of all time, my most quoted book ever. And it has a lot to do with the realization that not necessarily what you're thinking, but how you truly feel is what creates your life. And if you really want to get prayer on the deepest level, you want to tune into that God frequency, you will have so much more profound of an experience if you can let go of your thoughts and feeling and just enter in the words of Khalil Gibran, invisible. To be open, rather than beckoning for something, to actually allow the higher and highest intelligence of the cosmic vibration to live through you. So this is from The Prophet, my most quoted book when someone's born, dies, marriage, etc., even more than the Bible. This is the section on prayer. And Gibran says, what is prayer but the expansion of yourself into the living ether? And if it is for your comfort to pour your darkness into space, it is also your delight to pour forth the dawning of your heart. When you pray, you rise to meet in the air those who are praying at that very hour, and whom, save in prayer, you may not meet. Therefore, let your visit to that temple invisible be for naught but ecstasy and sweet communion. I cannot teach you how to pray in words. God listens not to your words, save when He Himself utters them through your lips. What does that mean? That's when you are open. That is when your temple is not necessarily just sending out all the signals of your fears, your phobias, your indoctrination, your conditioning, but rather that you are literally a transmission and reception being of the cosmic vibration, of the universal intelligence. That is what true prayer really means. My life is my prayer. I love you all so much. I look forward to seeing you in March. We will have this beautiful being that's back here behind me, lighting up in the corner, Paradigm, with us, which the volume's not even on. You just get to see the lights changing. I love you all so dearly. I'll see you soon in a few months. I'm sorry that I'm not there, but obviously it's a pretty big reason that I'm not there. And with this, I leave you with a beautiful word that I put at the end of the prayer. Amen. And so it is.